How's it going, everyone? It's Lumbity here, and today we are going to be talking about a Marvel movie today. We are going to be talking about 2008's film Iron Man. Now, this is the beginning of the MCU. I'm pretty sure. I think that this is the first film in the entire MCU, and I have basically decided that I want to go back and rewatch all of the Marvel movies that have ever come out from the very beginning. There's some Marvel movies I have missed along the way. There's a lot of TV series I've missed along the way. I don't think I've actually watched a complete TV series of any of the Marvel shows. So there's a lot of stuff that I'm missing. So I figured, you know what? Let's just go back to the very start, watch everything from the very beginning, and talk about it on the channel. I thought that would be fun. So today we're going to be talking about the very first one, Iron Man. And Iron Man is still actually a really fun movie. The only thing I can really say about Iron Man that I'm not a huge fan of is that I really think that a lot of the villains in Iron Man are actually pretty lackluster. They're not very memorable. Like, I don't ever remember the names of any of the villains from the Iron Man movies. I have a real hard time remembering the names of them. I can tell you what they look like and who they're played by, but I can never remember their actual, in-story names. I always have a hard time remembering their names because I just find them very forgettable. But the actual plot points are pretty memorable in Iron Man, you know? I mean, especially this one, because this is when Iron Man, or, Tony Stark, actually builds his Iron Man suit. This is the first time you actually get to see him in action, you get to see him build his suit, and you get to see the reason why he has the suit to begin with. And the whole reason he has the suit to begin with is because he gets captured by terrorists at the beginning of the movie, and this suit is the only way he can really escape. And it also leads to a breakthrough in creating this new type of reactor. He puts the reactor into his chest, and it's like it's also holding a piece of shrapnel away from his heart. There's a lot of cool things around that reactor and everything, and it becomes a real big part of this movie because his business partner that has worked also with his dad wants this reactor, but he wants it for a different purpose than Tony Stark wants it for. Tony Stark starts off in this movie as really someone who doesn't really care about anything other than money. He doesn't care what his weapons are really being used for. He's just selling them, and he doesn't even really pay attention to where the weapons go. He's just a weapons manufacturer that's just selling them around the world. And the really unfortunate thing is that this is actually a real thing that happens in real life. There's people who do sell weapons to every side in a war, you know? There's literally people who are selling weapons right now to Russia and Ukraine at the same time. That's like, you have people who are just making tons of money off war, and Tony Stark in this is basically one of those people. He's one of those people that is paying two different sides and just making money from both sides, and it's it's a very disgusting thing. And Tony does wise up to it, and he's just like, okay, my weapons are falling into the wrong hands. I'm making money, but it's blood money. I need to find a way out of this. I don't want to make money off war anymore. I want to make money off of peace. So that's why he makes the Iron Man suit his second model after he escapes the terrorists, because he sees that when he's in captivity from all these terrorists, he sees that these terrorists are using his stuff. And that makes him realize, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to be using... I don't want my stuff to be used to kill other people. I want to do something that will actually protect people, and Iron Man is his answer to that. The suit is his answer to that. So he builds the suit, and he starts becoming a superhero. He starts flying around the world and trying to basically right the wrongs that he has done. All the weapons that he has been sold to terrorists, he's gone and he's going and blowing up those weapons so they can't use them anymore. He stopped selling weapons. He doesn't want to be in the weapons business anymore. He wants to make reactors and stuff instead. And his business partner, he doesn't like that. His business partner, he wants to keep making weapons. And he actually wants to use reactors as well, but he wants to use them for military purposes, which Tony Stark is definitely not happy about. And that leads to your main villain in this, Tony Stark's own business partner turning into a villain, and him having to fight him in his own suit. So Tony Stark has his own suit, and then the villain in this, again, I have such a hard time with the villains in this. You know, it's really hard to remember the villain. I'm just going to call him Jeff Bridges, because that's who plays him. But either way, he gets his own suit, builds his own suit and everything, and you get some really cool fight scenes towards the end of this movie. And I will say, the CGI in this movie, for even, the fact that it's 2008, it actually holds up really well. And something that you'll notice a lot of people talk about is how good old CGI is compared to modern CGI. And I think during the late 2000s and early 2010s, that was definitely true. The CGI around then was just so darn good. And I think part of the reason is that the CGI you see nowadays looks too cartoony. There's a lot more HDR, there's a lot more colors that they're putting into it, and it almost comes off as way too cartoony. It doesn't look realistic anymore. But back then, they didn't have that type of technology to put all these different colors in. But it actually, because of that, it actually made it look more tamed and more realistic. So I think that the old CGI, from Iron Man actually still looks really good. A lot of the CGI in this movie looks great. The fight scenes look great. And overall, just all the settings and everything in this movie is fantastic. And the music is also really good as well. I actually like the soundtrack of this movie quite a bit. Some songs that I recognized from video games growing up I heard in this, so that was pretty cool. But I really like this. It's a lot of fun, and it is a great way to kick off the MCU. I'm very happy that I started watching with this movie. I'm glad that I'm doing this. I'm happy that I'm going back and watching all these movies again. It has been a very long time since I watched the first Iron Man. I remember when I first saw it back in theaters back in the day. I actually didn't see it in theaters. I saw it in the drive-in, and I fell asleep during the first time I tried to watch it. And not because it was a boring movie, but because I was really bad about drive-in movies and falling asleep during them. I also fell asleep in the movie right afterwards that we were supposed to watch, which was like something about trolls in a wardrobe. I don't remember what it was. I just fell asleep during that too. Again, it's not the movie's fault. I just fall asleep during movies whenever I'm at the drive-in. So I haven't gone to the drive-in in a while. I probably shouldn't do that anymore either, because I will not get my money's worth if I do that. Unless you count taking a long nap as getting your money's worth, which, I mean, fair enough, actually. But overall, I really like the first Iron Man movie. It's a lot of fun. It has a lot of really good acting. And overall, I think that this was a really fun way to kick off the MCU. I like this movie. I like the different things that shows in this movie. I like Tony Stark in this movie, honestly. I like his convictions. I like that he sees that he's doing the wrong thing, and he tries to turn it around, and he goes from one extreme to the other, I do believe. But I still think that makes a very interesting and very just... it's a very... I don't want to say complicated, but more of a character that is kind of torn, and I think that's really interesting. He's trying to make up maybe a little bit too hard, but I do think it's a really fun story, and I really enjoyed it. So thanks for watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed this. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe button down below, and go check out the original Iron Man. It's still really fun. You get to see some really cool stuff, and make sure that you watch the after credits scene, because this, like I said, does start off the entire Avengers series, and you get that little post-credit scene with Nick Fury, so you'll definitely want to watch that. So it's really fun, and I'm glad that I watched it. So thank you guys for watching. I'll talk to you next one. You have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.